You've been lied to about intelligence. The school system? A scam. Self-help gurus selling you fantasies. But here's the truth nobody wants you to know. Becoming smart isn't about genetics, IQ tests, or spending a decade in university. It's a game, and once you learn the rules, you become unstoppable. Let me guess, you've tried everything. You bought the courses, you watched the TED Talks, you even ate blueberries for brain power. But you still feel average. You scroll through social media watching 16-year-olds build million-dollar businesses while you're stuck Googling how to focus for more than 5 minutes. The worst part? You know you're capable of more. You just don't know how to unlock it. Here's what they don't tell you. Intelligence isn't fixed. Your brain is a muscle, and right now it's weak because you've been training it wrong. Schools taught you to memorize and forget. The internet taught you to consume and scroll. But smart people, they play a completely different game. They don't work harder, they work with their brain's operating system. Real intelligence has 3 pillars. 1, input, what you feed your brain. 2, processing, how you make sense of it.
And 3, output, how you use it in the real world. Most people fail at all 3. They consume junk content, never process it, and wonder why nothing sticks. But here's the secret. If you master these 3 pillars, you'll become smarter in 30 days than most people do in 4 years of college. Pillar 1 is input, the information diet. Your brain is like a computer. Garbage in, garbage out. Right now, you're feeding it TikToks, Netflix, and Reddit arguments. No wonder you feel dumb. Smart people are obsessive about their information diet. They read books not because they're nerds, but because books are concentrated knowledge. One book contains 10 years of someone's expertise, compressed into 6 hours of reading. That's a cheat code. But here's the trick. You don't read books like school taught you. You don't start at page 1 and suffer through boring introductions. You hunt for gold. Scan the table of contents. Jump to the chapters that solve your problems. Read the first and last paragraph of each chapter. If it's useful, dive deeper. If not, move on. You're not trying to finish books. You're trying to extract value. This is how CEOs read 50 books a year while you're stuck on page 12 of that self-help book you bought in January. Now, books cost money.
But let me tell you about a little accident that might happen. You might accidentally Google Library Genesis or Z Library. You might accidentally search for any book title, and you might accidentally download a PDF. I'm not saying you should do this, I'm just saying accidents happen. And when they do, you suddenly have access to every textbook, business book, and psychology manual ever written for free. Pillar 2 is processing. Reading isn't enough. Your brain is lazy. It tricks you into thinking you understand something when you don't. This is called the illusion of knowledge. The fix? The Feynman Technique. After you learn something, explain it out loud like you're teaching a 10-year-old. If you can't, you don't actually understand it. This forces your brain to process information deeply. Do this once, and you'll remember more than someone who rereads the same chapter 5 times. And that brings me to the 20-minute rule that changes everything. Here's the brutal truth. Your brain forgets 90% of what you learn within 48 hours unless you do one thing: active recall. After reading or watching something valuable, close the book, open a blank document, write down everything you remember, struggle through it. This struggle is your brain rewiring itself. Do this for 20 minutes after every learning session, and you'll retain 10 times more than passive rereading ever could.
Let's continue with Pillar 3. Output, the application trap. Knowledge without action is just trivia. You can read 100 books on fitness, but if you never go to the gym, you're not smart, you're just well-read. The smartest people in the world have one thing in common. They apply everything immediately. Read about negotiation? Negotiate your phone bill. Learn about productivity? Build a system today. Your brain only values knowledge it can use, so use it. The 48-hour challenge. Here's a rule that will change your life. Every time you learn something new, you have 48 hours to use it in the real world. If you don't, your brain deletes it. Read about body language? Practice it in your next conversation. Learn a new Excel formula? Use it at work. This is how you go from knowing things to being smart. Because smart isn't what you know, it's what you do with what you know. The conversation hack. How to sound brilliant without being annoying. Here's the formula. Never say, well, actually. Instead say, oh, interesting. I was just reading about that. Then share what you know as a discovery, not a correction. Example, someone says, humans evolved from monkeys. You say, that's wild, right? I just read that we didn't actually evolve from monkeys, we share a common ancestor. Blew my mind. You just taught them something without making them feel dumb. That's social intelligence. The textbook secret weapon. If you want to learn something fast, like scary fast, use textbooks. Not because they're fun, but because they're efficient. No fluff, no storytelling, just pure information plus practice problems. You can learn in 2 weeks what a YouTube course stretches into 10 hours. The trick? Don't read cover to cover. Use the index. Find the exact topic you need. Read that section, do the practice problems, move on. This is how med students memorize entire anatomy books in a semester. The intelligence multiplier. Teaching. The fastest way to become an expert? Teach. Start a blog, make YouTube videos, explain concepts to friends. When you teach, your brain organizes information at the highest level. You spot gaps in your knowledge. You're forced to simplify complexity. This is why teachers often know their subject better than researchers. They've explained it 1,000 times. You don't need an audience. Just pretend you're making a video. Talk to your webcam. Your brain doesn't know the difference. The focus formula. Deep work blocks. You can't get smart if you can't focus. Here's the system. 90-minute deep work blocks. No phone, no distractions. Just you and one task. Your brain enters a flow state after 20 minutes. That's when real learning happens. Do this twice a day, and you'll accomplish more than most people do in a week. The secret? Treat focus like a muscle. It's weak now, but it gets stronger every time you practice.
The mistake that's keeping you average. Most people learn horizontally, a little bit about everything. They watch random YouTube videos, scroll Twitter threads, listen to podcasts on 2x speed. They know a little about crypto, a little about psychology, a little about fitness. But they're not smart, they're scattered. Smart people learn vertically. They pick one skill and go deep. They become the person everyone asks about that topic. Depth beats breadth every single time. The 30-day intelligence upgrade. Here's your challenge. For the next 30 days, follow this system. 1. Read or study for 1 hour daily. 2. Use the Feynman Technique to process what you learned. 3. Apply one new thing within 48 hours. 4. Teach someone what you learned. Do this, and in 30 days, you'll be unrecognizable. You'll speak with more confidence. You'll solve problems faster. You'll see patterns others miss. You'll become the smartest person in the room without anyone knowing you're trying. The final truth? Becoming smart isn't about talent. It's about systems. It's about feeding your brain the right information, processing it correctly, and using it in the real world. Most people never figure this out. They stay average forever, wondering why life feels so hard. But you're different. You watched this video. You know the game now. The only question is, will you play it?